This is my board bow. I went to Home Depot. I was a little bored, so I wanted to make something. So I went and I got a board to make a board bow because I was bored. So anyway, this is a 1.5 by 3/4 inch maple board. Okay, and I had to go through a lot of them to find one that didn't have runoff. You see the grain on this? If you could look, you see the grain runs along the board. Well, runoff is when the grain comes and goes off the board, and that you don't want that to flex because it'll pop off there. So I was looking at it and I found a nice one. This should be about 64 inches when I'm done. And I saw they had like little 48-inch pieces of poplar that was the same width and thickness. And I says, oh, that'll be good for a handle. So I laid it on top, drew my marks for where I wanted the fade outs to be, cut it on the bandsaw, glued it up, shaped it, cut a shelf, and it came out pretty good. And what I'm going to do is back this with rawhide. The sinew was too expensive. This whole board cost me 60 bucks. So to be continued. I wanted 35 pounds. I'm going to take a little more off. You see the line I drew? I'm going to take a little more off. I'm floor tillering it, and I know floor tillering it, it's still way too heavy. So to be continued. Okay, last night I couldn't sleep. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was out in the garage and I cut a smaller diameter radius jig. It's 5.5 inches, and what I'm going to attempt to do today is I got that board bow I made out of maple. I'm going to cut string grooves, and how you do that is you just put a 45 on the ends, okay, and you draw a line, and then you use a tile saw. It's got a thin blade, I wish it was thicker, and you cut that to make a groove. Then I have a small rat tail, and the rat tail is aggressive and it's round, and that will deepen the channel. And I want it deep enough that when you put the string around it, the string is recessed in that groove. You don't want the string sticking up out of the groove. And once I'm done with the rat tail, I take a regular chainsaw file, which is less aggressive, and I clean it up, touch it up, smooth it up. And then what I'm going to do is, once I have the string grooves cut, and you can see them on my other videos, we cut the string grooves, but I just figured I'd tell you quick how I did it. Usually with these board bows, as far as me checking out YouTube and stuff, not too many people recurve them. So I made a little bit less of a radius. I'm going to steam this in a pot of water once the string grooves are cut. I'm going to steam it for a half an hour or so. And then I'm going to gently put it in and wedge it. Put a wedge there and see if it bends nice. And I don't want to stress the wood. I'll see how it goes. If it goes nice and easy, I'll go all the way. If it don't, maybe I'll just go a little bit and put a little bit of a recurve on the ends. It depends how it feels. All right, I ordered Rawhide. I watched one of Clay Hayes' videos, and he has a site, twistedstave.com, where I bought the Rawhide. It's coming, and I'm going to back this bow with the Rawhide. And that part I learned from his videos. So this is all trial and error. It's very addicting. It's a lot of fun. The reason why I'm doing this in the kitchen is because it was 17 degrees. It's got a little warmer now. It's like 21 degrees now. And I was outside in the garage for a while. I was going to set up the board and do this outside. And after a half an hour of being out there in 17-degree weather, I couldn't even think straight. So that's the plan. I'm going to show you me steaming it after I get the string grooves cut. This is Shadow. Shadow loves to be on camera. Whenever I get the videos going, you've probably seen her in some of the videos. It's like she knows she wants attention. Okay, I cut the string grooves. I started with the tile saw, and I followed the line. I used my nail to guide it along the line on both sides. Then I used the rat tail, the end of the rat tail, okay, the round rat tail, and cut the depth I need. Then I took the chainsaw file and I cut it. It's actually polishing a little bit, smoothing it out, taking some of the rough edges out. And you can take sandpaper and just wrap a little sandpaper around when you're done too. But the whole idea is, you see the loop? You want it so when you put a loop in, you see it's below that cut. You don't want it above it. It'll pop off. You want it below it. So, all right, so this side's done. I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to get to the steaming. Just figured I'd show you that. Okay, the string grooves are cut. This is the bottom limb. I made the top a little shorter because it's going to be resting on the ground. It's going to be a little fattier and not pointier. And this top limb, the top end here is a little longer and pointier. And what I did was I marked the string grooves from the center out. Okay, so as far as the bow length and where the center is, it's from groove to groove, and I left a little extra for the top. So now we're going to steam it. I'm going to boil these up, steam them, and bend it. Let's see what happens. I only paid $26 for these boards. If it works, it works. And I'm only going to put enough pressure to see if it goes. If it seems like there's too much resistance, I'll stop. Maybe I'll get a little bend out of it. So trial and error, you know. That's part of the fun of this here. Okay, we got the stave in. I set the timer for 30 minutes. Got 25 to go. And plenty of time. I'm having a late breakfast. Egg, English muffin, American cheese, and a nice cup of coffee. So once this is done, I'll show you how I bend it. Hopefully, how I bend it. Okay, a couple of things when you're gonna bend this. A couple of things when you're gonna bend this. Make sure that you know when you bend it, the recurve goes away from you. So the handle is up. When you put it in, the handle will be facing up. You'll bend it and the handle will be up. Okay, the other thing is try to have your clamps kind of sized to what you think it's going to be, so that everything's standing by, so you can clamp it right away. Okay? You know, so you can clamp it right away. So, hear the beeper? It's done, it's cooked. Okay? It's cooked. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We're putting it in. Shim. Okay. Bending it. It's going. The wood don't seem to be really that stressed. And it's going. Okay. I'm going to put my elbow down. Clamp number 1. Come on. Nothing's ever easy. Okay, clamp number 2. Okay, and it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Try and keep it aligned with the edge of the board so it's sort of not twisted. It's not twisted. That's it. Now we're going to let it cool. And there's a tiny little space against this shim, but that's okay because the other limb will be the same way. All right? Well, it bent. And then we're going to let it cool. And then I'm going to recook the pot and cook the other end. And as I said, you make sure that the handle's up. All right, I hate for you to bend it the other way, all right? So that's it. Let it cool and we'll do the other side. Okay, recurve number 2. If for some reason you're bending these and they don't seem to go, do not force them. Like that, see? It felt a little tight. Steam it a little bit more. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Put this in here. I got a shim. See if the shim fits. Here we go. Tighten this up a little bit. Bend this down here. Okay. See, kind of up here maybe. Okay, that's it. Let it cool. Okay, I guess this is why you don't see much recurves on these maples. You see the piece that cracked up here? But look where it is. It's right at that line I want to take it down to. So we're going to see if I can eliminate this by, the sanding and scraping, and if it's good, if I can get rid of that, along the line, once I successfully do that, then I'll back it with rawhide and it should be good. At least I think so. There's always something going on, man. There's always something. You try to do a little something extra, and it's a learning experience. But this may be the last one maple I try to recurve. But we're going to let this dry, and then I know. Interesting enough, I was able to sand it down to the line I had. Shape the tips a little bit too. I was able to sand it down to the line I had, and I just sanded off that piece that lifted. So I think I'm good for now. I'm gonna leave it, and when I get that rawhide backing, I'm gonna put that on, and then I'll tiller it after that dries. Give it a couple of days for that rawhide to dry. But that piece that lifted up was outside of my line that I was using for tillering. So, all right, we'll see what happens. My maple Home Depot board bow that I was building, and I've been waiting for this rawhide backing because I was worried that, it's going to crack. So I just wanted to show you, I got this on twistedstave.com, Clay Hayes' site. And what a nice piece, nice piece. We're going to overlap it. I went 5.5 inches down from where the string knot is. Okay, and I marked it. Put a line across, and I scuffed this up. I had some 50 grit disc here. And you want it really scuffed up good, okay? I want it to adhere. I threw out my old pipe bond that I had when the handle popped off. I don't know how old it was or how old it was in the little store I bought it from. And I ordered a new one. Figure I'd have better luck with that, with a brand new one. So this is all scuffed up. Oh, and the back of this here too. Just do a little quick, it's very clean. They say usually you go back and forth and clean it. Okay. This is really an excellent piece. It looks real good. So what we're going to do is get some warm water, and we're going to put this in, and we're going to soak it for over an hour. You don't want it, from what they say. And again, this was the backing part of this is all from Clay Hayes' video. And what we're going to do is soak this in not hot water, because they say it cooks and it gets soft and yucky. Just a little warm water, put it in, and we're going to soak it for over an hour, like maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Then we're going to wring it out, stretch it out, clamp it, and we're going to wrap it. Okay, so we got the water, warm water, not hot, just a little warm. And we're just going to put this ladle on top just to keep it down. Okay, I'm going to set the timer, and when the timer goes off, we'll wring it out, stretch it out, and start the process. The timer went off. It's been an hour. Did a little more tinkering around, and it feels nice and soft. Okay, we're going to let it soak just a little bit more before I wring it out, and I'm going to finish prepping this. Now, what they said was, I saw Clay Hayes said that if you take a hacksaw blade, scruff it up a little bit too, to make sure that the glue will adhere and everything will adhere to this. So, if a hacksaw blade's good, right? Why not use one of these, right? The tree cutting saw. So here we go. Nah, I'm just kidding. Here we go. Got the hacksaw blade, and I'm going to go to the line. A little scratch in there, a little scratch in there. We're not going back and forth cutting, we're just kind of raking across, and I'm going an angle this way and this way, and put little groove checks in there. Let's check it out. Yeah, we got it nice and textured here. Just to make sure we get a little of that dust off there, just to make sure we get the dust off. Okay. Now before I even wring this out, what I'm gonna do is, okay, let me shake this up a little bit. We're gonna put a little glue on here, and I'm gonna rub it in. Yeah, you know what? On my last bow build, that the handle didn't hold, I had old Type Bond, and it was pretty thick actually. This comes out really thin. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting some on. This is maple, and it's kiln dried maple. You know, it's a board that you buy in Home Depot. So it's gonna suck this. It's going to suck this glue up, I have a feeling. So, we're going to rub it in good. Okay. I have this big board, big box that came. I forget what came in it. I don't know if it was a longbow. I don't remember what came from it. But I cut out a notch. You see I have the this cheap $20 wood vise clamped on the counter because it's raining out. We always get, lately this has been a wet year for Long Island. You know, we're right off the ocean, and we get a lot of rain. So, but better rain than snow. So anyway, that rainy day, it's a good project to do inside, back this bow. And I'm spreading this Type on, I'm rubbing it in nice. I'm doing this before I wring it out, so I can get a little tacky, okay? Gonna wipe the edges a little bit here. All right. Okay, with these bows, when you start pulling them back, you develop this set. Okay, so I have the string on a little snug and bending into the opposite direction. And once I tiller it and all, I'm hoping that you don't get too much set. You'll get a little bit, maybe, with this backing. But you won't get too much because I have it bending up. So, let me get this stuff out of the way. Here we go, got my water catcher here. Let's take one of these out. There's a smooth side and a rough side. I sanded it pretty, good. Wringing out the water. What I'm going to do is stretch it. They say stretch it. Oh yeah, it stretches. Stretching it out. Stretching it out. Then what you do is you pull it apart a little bit here, like this here. Now that you stretched it, you open it back up. Okay, this is a process. It's going to take a little time. Okay, I will edit this video at the end, maybe to shorten it up. But you see, once I stretched it, I'm opening it up again. Meanwhile, we're letting the type on get a little tacky. Okay, this is I'm really impressed. I gotta say, I'm really impressed at this piece of rawhide. What a great piece. They say one end is a little thicker than the other usually. This is pretty even, I gotta tell you. Okay, this is the thickest spot. This is gonna go in towards the middle. All right, now what we're gonna do here is, let's see, I wanna see how the length is and where I'm gonna put it. Okay, here's where I have the cutout for the shelf. And this is the thick handle here. This is the whole thick handle here. And I want to overlap it here. I want it strong. I want to have a continuous piece where I have that cut out. So let me get the good scissors. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece off. Okay. Smooth side, rough side. I'm going to put some of this Type Bond on here. Okay. Gonna rub it around nice. Okay, let me feel this. This is getting a little tacky. We're going to put a little more glue here. Okay, a little more glue. A little more glue. Okay, you can see, you can't really see it from where the camera is, but it is drinking up some of this Type Bond. So here we go. Okay, spread this out again. Okay, this is the first time I'm doing this trail or ever. It cost me $27 or so for the wood, and it cost me another $27 for this beautiful 2 pieces of rawhide. So I think it's a good deal. So here we are. We're going to take it on this side. We're going to put it on that line. This is that line from where I have it. Okay. Clean my hands a little bit here. Okay. This is that line. Got a nice line there. This is what you use when you put lettering like on a boat. It's just a scraper. You could use a plastic spackle knife, right? So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going along here like this. You can see it's stretching it out. I'm stretching it out. Okay, stretching it out. Okay, here we go. Doing a good job of stretching here. Let me tell you, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. I've only started making bows this December. Friend Cliff, who had made a few of these self bows, he got an extra stave and gave it to me, and I've been addicted ever since. Okay, let's get the other one out. So this is bow number 5 now. The first one, inexperience, cracked, stave, bad wood, old wood. That one was doomed from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna lay this out here. Now before this dries too much over here, I'm gonna freshen this up with a little bit more glue. Okay, more the better here. Here we go, keep it nice and moist. Okay. Okay. Now trying to find the thin end on this one here, I would say that they're pretty equal. Okay. I'm trying to do this in a position where you guys can see. All right. I'm putting this on here, and it's you could kind of feel like it's drinking it up too. This is drinking it up here too, a little bit. So we're gonna put a little bit more. And here we go. Give it a nice massage in. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go make sure this is good here. Very nice, okay. It's a good, easy cleanup with this stuff too. Okay, here we go. This is gonna go here on this line. Okay, and it's gonna lay down here like this. And what we're gonna do is just I'm doing is sliding it down, spreading it out. I'm going to cut this off here. You see, I'll just show you the overlap. Here it is. You've got about 1 inch or so overlap on the meaty part of the handle, okay? Okay, let me get some more. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this. So, and I figured if I mess up this bow, what do I have invested? 27 in wood, 27 in the rawhide. Okay. Okay, look how nice though. This really is nice. I'm going to take this scraper again. Get the ear out. This is looking real good. I have a Facebook friend that says he just puts it on like this. He don't wrap it, so he don't have the lines. He lets it dry. Just like this, like he's putting on snakeskin. So I don't know, man. I know that once this dries, it's going to shrink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this. So I'm going to push the edges down. Okay, see, I'm pushing the edges down now. I'm really impressed with this backing. I like this a lot. Really impressed. Like I said, you know, coming from somebody who don't really know, I'm really impressed at how good of a piece it is. Okay, now comes the tough part without me trying to wreck it here, is wrapping it with this ace bandage and trying not to get it to shift. You know, like I said, try to get it good. I'm going to come up at this end here. Yeah, I'm going to slide this back a little bit out of the way. Okay. I'm going to just lay this here like this for a second. I'll show you what I did. I cut up some paint stirrers, only because there's a lot of texture on this. Okay. Okay, we got that there. Now as I'm going to wrap this around, I don't want it to shift. I don't want it to pull on one end and the other. I want to make sure it's kind of like stays where it is. And that may not happen. There's some spots where this rawhide is really close to the edge. Okay. I'm going to let this run. So, you know what? You can just fast forward a little until you see me finish, but I'm going to let the clock run on this. Okay, now I'm going to attempt something. I don't know if it's the right idea or a wrong idea. I'm just going to move this down a little bit. Just so I can wrap around this handle a little better. Okay, just like this here. Just until I finish wrapping a little bit. I'm supporting it with my hand. The whole weight isn't on that just put it out of the clamp. Go back. And we'll make it nice. Okay. Just the handle right around where the cutout is and all. I want that to lay nice and flat where the overlap is. Okay. Okay, look at this here. Now I'm coming to the end, right? So I got these little clips. I'm going to clip it on. And then what we're going to do is put this back in here. Okay. And the handle here. Make sure it's on the meaty part of the handle. Okay. Just snug it up a little bit. Okay. 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 Okay, now we got the other one. Like I said, it's up to you. I know this is a long, tedious, boring thing. I'm going to keep recording. You can fast forward. Nice. I think this is going to work out good. I'm hoping. You know, you never know. You never know until it's over. Okay. Now, here we go. We're going to clamp this end here too now. Okay, that's it. Now, what they say is make sure you get all the glue out and it's wrapped, and I'm just trying to make sure it's all even. Okay. Just want to rub it out good by this handle where it's all double laid, overlaid. As I'm going down, I'm spreading both fingers out like this. I don't want it to shift. Okay, I'm done wrapping it, and we're gonna let it set up. I'm gonna clean up this mess, and then we're gonna let this cure for, it's 11 o'clock today for, I would say more than a day. 2 days we're gonna let this, and then we'll unwrap it and see what we got. Okay, for the first time, it went fairly smoothly. We'll see what it looks like underneath when I'm done. But so far I'm happy with the process. I learned something. All right, thanks to Clay Hayes again for putting out that video. And it's most addicting. If you like to tinker and you like a little woodworking, making self bows, board bows, all this, especially the self bows. You get a log, you scrape it down to a growth ring, you shape it, you tiller it, and next thing you know, you got a bow you're shooting arrows. It's the most incredible thing. So you should all try it. All right, we're going to let this dry and to be continued. Okay, I unwrapped it today. I took off that ace bandage, and because I didn't wrap it that tight around here, there's no lines, which is really nice. It looks really nice. Okay, and then what I was worried about actually happened a little bit. I put the ace bandage so it wouldn't slip and pull. It wrinkled a little bit around here. But what I did was I went outside, it had the overhang. Over here I was able to take a knife and just cut some of it away. I was able to trim it away. But then I put it on the belt sander, that 36-inch flat table belt sander, and it was able to take off the edge. It cleaned up the edge really nice. Oh, and Shadow's here. Say hello, Shadow. Say hello. So anyway, I have this multi-tool here. This multi-tool is one of the greatest tools I ever bought. So I was able, with the multi-tool, to taper. See where the overlay is? This is where it overlaid. I put it not up here where all the bends and stuff were. I overlaid it here so it'd be stronger. And I was able to taper it using this. So it's going to work out. A lot of hand sanding. I'm going to let it dry one more day, even though it feels dry. I'm just going to hand sand it and let it dry. Okay, I'm super happy how this turned out. This rawhide really looks good. And the handle, I have a feeling this is going to be fine too when I get done with it. But what I did was I used this multi-tool just to taper the ends a little bit. All right, just to taper the ends, it worked. And where the overlap was, I brought it down a little bit. And the only thing was this little wrinkle here. And I took it down. I took it down, and you can see the little bit of overlap here, right? You see the little overlap? Well, this overlap was, you know, quite a bit on the whole bow, and the belt sander took it off. But all you do is just, got a sharp knife here. See? See how that cleaned up? Right? And then a little sanding. I'm really happy, man. I'm really happy. I hope I tiller this and it don't snap, because this is going to be a great little bow if it holds up. I'm really surprised and happy with this. Okay, I got the board bow on a tillering stick, and I've been doing a little tillering back and forth, and the limbs are bending really nice. So, a little bit more work, and going to do a little sanding and true oil. It's going to start going on tomorrow. Okay, tonight I tillered my $80 board bow. All right, it looks pretty good. Okay, pulled it back several times, you know, warm up the limbs. It's about the 35 pounds that I want. So let's see, we're going to take the first shot, see if I get whacked in the head or it's a success. Okay. Wow, right there. Right there. Let's see if I can put another one down there. Touching arrows down there. I'm touching arrows, all right? So, it was well worth the trouble. Rawhide back, maple board, and tillered. I just got to sand it tomorrow and put a little true oil on it. It's going to look real nice. And this is going to be my 3D bow. If I choose to take it to the 3D tournaments, this is it, 35 pounds. Okay, the bow looked good with the backing and all, and then I went to put some true oil on. And what happened was, there was a little wrinkle here, and I sanded it down. And because I sanded it down, it opened the grain in the rawhide. And when I put the true oil on, it got absorbed, and it got a dark spot, a dark, ugly spot. I went, oh my God, you know, I can't have that. What am I going to do? So I ran outside, and I grabbed a can of dark stain that I had. I didn't even look at the name, but it's really dark. It's Provincial. And I wiped that on the best I could. And you can actually see on the top limb here, you know, you can see it up on the top limb there. And even that didn't cover it too well. I let it dry, you know. So what I did was I got some spray paint and I sprayed it, and that covered it up, and it's drying. And, you know, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out, but it'll still shoot good. And I'm going to name this bow the Ugly Bow. So this is Ugly Bow. And so I'm going to let it dry a little more. It just feels like in spots a little tacky. I'll let it dry a little more. And then I'm going to put either a satin, probably a satin finish on it, maybe semi-gloss. I'm going to put a little on a board and just see how it looks. I think I always go with the satin finish, so that's what's going to wind up. But I give you the Ugly Bow, okay? I have a few things to do tomorrow, so I want to wrap up my board building video. And like I said, I'm happy with all the results. I'm learning. I only started making bows, you know, in the beginning of December, and now it's you know, January, the end of January. So I'm doing pretty good. So I really like the idea of the rawhide backing, but what happened was it was a little rough in spots, you know, it crinkled a little bit. I sanded a little bit, and then after I put True Oil on, and the True Oil got absorbed where the grain was roughed up, and it got a black spot. So I went, oh my God, there's a black spot. So I ran out in the garage and I got some really dark stain, and I put it on, and it didn't help. So I said, all right. So I let everything dry, and I went and I bought the spray paint. I think it's like a dark walnut spray paint. So I spray painted it, and then I was going to use satin polyurethane. I use satin on all my bows. And I says, oh, I have some gloss. Let me highlight the ugliness of this bow. So let me show you the name on the bow. See, this is the Ugly Bow, all right? But it shoots great, but it's ugly, all right? So this is the end of the video here. This is my Ugly Bow. I'm going to take some shots in the house just because I'm going to be a little busy tomorrow. Okay. Okay, we'll take a couple more. I think this bow is going to last with that nice thick rawhide. And it shoots fairly well, and it is ugly. It's an ugly bow. Then I'm going to talk about something real quick in a minute. Got one more. Nice groups down there. Very happy with the way it shoots. Okay. They're all within a finger apart down there in the target, okay? So that's the end of the video. I'm really liking the, I like the board bow. I don't know if I'll make another one, but I'm glad I got to learn how to put rawhide backing on. But there's something I want to discuss. This is a Osage stave that I bought on Etsy, okay? And I noticed it was really heavy. And the last bow I built, you could see my video where the handle popped off. And I thought it was the glue, and it might have been the glue because the glue was very thick, the tight bond, you know, and it didn't hold. Once the handle popped off, the bow cracked. But I'm picking this up and it's really heavy. So I contacted the guy I bought the stave from. I says, is this wood aged? And he says, no, it's all green wood. I said, it's green wood. He says, I said, you should really put that on your website. So he says, well, if you look, he said, some of the staves, you know, I put down that it's green. I said, but I messaged you and I told you I wanted the nice stave. I was making a bow. Told him I wanted to make a 3D bow. And he told me he has one that's perfect, it's nice, it's skinny, and he was going to send me a block and glue the block on. And I said, well, you know, all right, I never did it before. I'll try and shape it and glue a handle on. And I wonder if it was green and that's why the handle popped off. I don't know, you know. But all I'm saying is I'm new to this. And You know, now I got to make sure, it's heavy. I got to make sure that, you know, when I get staves and I'm going to make a bow and I expect to shoot that bow after I make it, that it's aged, okay? So if you're new to this and you're watching these videos, don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, and at the end, the guy says, well, you know what I do? I rough it out. I cut it like, you know, like a bow, and then I put it away, and, you know, I let it age that way, you know, with less wood on it. I'm like, that's unacceptable, man. He should have told me, don't make a bow with this stuff. You know, it's green. You got to let it sit for a year. In the messages back and forth, he should have told me. So, okay, I love this bow building stuff. It's addicting, okay? I really am addicted to it. You know, and if you know anybody that sells these aged, you know, not for $1 million, but you know, somebody that sells a reasonable priced aged staves, I like to build a couple more. I like to at least get one good 3D bow out of a aged Osage stave. You know, maybe put something in the comments, a link or somebody to check out. All right. Watch my other videos on Bare Bow Joe. You never know what I'm gonna come up with. And it's a learning experience. You get to learn with me. And I wonder if my failure on that bow that blew apart was because it wasn't aged. All right, thanks for watching.